Welcome to Go Lurk Yourself, a podcast about streaming on the internet. My name is Crunky.
And I am Cherry Cake.
Today, we are going to talk about a brand new game that came out this weekend from Nintendo called Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, the 100th Deluxe version, the 100th episode, spectacular, whatever the hell they want to call it. And it's basically the ultimate game. I'm more than a little jaded about Smash Brothers because I bought the Switch version, not Switch version, the Wii U version, what seems like a couple of years ago. All the DLC, and Nintendo shut down their online, and I couldn't play it. Their online sucked. I couldn't play it. And then I thought maybe they'd give us like a discount code on the Ultimate, or maybe we don't have to pay again for all the DLC. Nope. You gotta just buy it again for a full $60.
That's Nintendo.
It's Nintendo for you, and luckily for them, it's really, 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 really good.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, if you're skipping to the end, we like it.
They did a good job on this. I'll give them credit.
Yeah, there are a couple issues, which we'll go over, but I mean, the game's rocking a solid 93 on Metacritic as of this recording. It's got tons and tons and tons of maps and characters and stages and bonus content and all the little stuff that you only get from a gaming company who really cares to put all the polishing touches on every little thing.
Yeah.
I can't say enough good things about it. I will say a couple bad things about it, or things that I don't like about it later on, but I just, my first impression is that, it good.
Yeah, it's an absolutely jam-packed game. It's got so much in it that I think I was happy to pay like £50 for it. What was it, $60 in your money?
Yeah, in the US was 60.
Yeah. So, yeah, more than happy to. I think we'll get our money's worth from it, Crunk.
Yeah, let's see. I can't remember the last time, especially a console game. Maybe Spider-Man? Even Spider-Man, after a couple of hours, I was like, okay, that's enough Spider-Man for today. Yeah. Last night, I was just telling Jerry before we started this recording, I was up till 3 a.m. And not because I thought, you know what, it'll be a good idea before I record this podcast is to get 5 hours of sleep. No, it was because I was playing, and then I looked down, I'm like, holy shit, it's 2:30. I guess I can only play for another half an hour because I'm going to unlock this goddamn character.
I think one of the good things about this, though, is that it's an online multiplayer game, so you get to play with loads of different people, all your friends, and because there's so many characters as well, everyone has a different style of play, so it keeps it kind of fresh.
This humble brag over here talking about all her friends she plays with. Jesus.
Hey, no.
I was
not even going to get into that.
I was just telling her before we started, basically, last night, I wasn't going to stream, and then some friends were like, hey, do you want to play Smash with me? And as my good buddy Bisha always says, if you're playing a video game, even if my hair was all messed up, I laid down on the couch, I'm like, I'll go without a cam. I'll just play without a cam and chat with my friends and if there's only 4 people watching, that's fine. 5 minutes later, there's 31 people in my chat, and everyone's like, can I get in the next game? And there's a maximum level of online lobby of 8 people, and we were rotating people into the lobby, which, I'll get into a little bit later, some of the things I don't like about it, but man, is it, like, I didn't get into Smash Brothers for Wii U this much because I didn't have the friends to play with, and I didn't care about, the Wii U version also unlocked all your characters up front. This one requires you to go through the modes, different modes to unlock it. How many characters have you unlocked so far, Cherry?
Not many, maybe I think I counted about 16, 15.
Okay, so you start out, if you haven't played this since the 1999 Nintendo 64 release, Super Smash Brothers, there were only 8 characters available at the set out of that game, and that's the same with this one. You only get those same, they call it the original 8. So Cherry has unlocked 8 additional characters. Have you found your favorite one yet?
Not so far. I used to play a lot as Link. I think it was the Game Boy version. There was a Smash on Game Boy. Not Game Boy. GameCube, sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think
Game Boy. Yeah, sorry. I used to play a lot as Link on there, but I found it quite difficult to play as this one. But going through the single mode, which is it White Light, is it? I can't remember the name of it.
World of Light.
World of Light, sorry.
Yeah.
White Light. World of Light on there. I'm quite liking Kirby. Just because you have to play as him. Yeah.
Yeah, it starts out. So there's a mode of this game. Before we jump into the World of Light, though, I'm trying to unlock Rob the Robot, who's one of my favorite characters.
Yeah.
Growing up, I may have told the story in the podcast before, but when the NES was originally announced, the commercials had this, to my 6-year-old, 7-year-old brain, had the most amazing thing ever, this toy robot that would pick up these discs and you could play Gyromite and a couple other games with him. And I never got one because they were so freaking rare by the time I got an NES. And plus my real name is Rob, so that that, you know.
You have an affinity with him.
I do, and I've always played. I think they put him in, I want to say they put him in Melee for the first time.
Oh,
and
right.
I was like, and he was like at the time I wasn't following it close enough to like research every character who was in there. So when I found him, like, holy shit, Rob the Robot's in here. I really liked playing him. He's a heavy tanky type, like King K. Rool and Bowser and whatnot. But he's a lot of fun. But I'm trying to unlock him, and sad to report that I have 49 characters open so far, and he's not one of them.
Oh my word.
I found this list that says, okay, if you play the classic mode, which plays sort of like the single player mode in the old games did, before they put in, I think it was the GameCube version where there was this single player mode called Subspace Emissary, where you could play like side scrolling stages that unlock things that had little animations to it.
Yeah.
Before they put that in, you used to just, go on a tirade of playing like a set number of maybe 6 or 7. And then there was like a boss character at the end who was like beefed up or made bigger.
Yeah.
In Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, if you play the classic mode, as it's called, you will actually get unplayable boss characters at the end of them. Have you seen these yet?
No, I haven't.
So the first time I played, I was Mario, and I get all the way to the end, and you face off the last boss as Bowser, and you're like, well, that makes sense. And this is the kind of polish that I'm talking about. You get to the end of the classic mode, you play, it's all themed. Every fight is hand selected, and there's a theme to it. Like when I played as Mario, you fight off against Luigi, you fight off against other Mario enemies, Mario bosses, people Mario would make sense to run into. Like, you're not going to run into Ganondorf as Mario. At the end, you fight Bowser, and he turns into Giga Bowser, and it's a boss fight. It's a literally 2D boss fight where they have move sets and weak points, and the only way you could really hurt Bowser is to jump behind him and hit his tail and knock him down, sort of like Mario 64.
Yeah.
And then when I played as Link and Zelda both had a very similar Hyrule edition where you face off against characters from the Zelda universe, and there's a theme to the whole thing. You get all the way to the end and you fight against Ganon, and after you beat Ganon, he turns into giant Ocarina of Time pigman. I mean, literally tall as the screen, 10 times taller than you.
Yeah.
And just like in Ocarina of Time, his only weak point is his tail. You have to get behind him and hit his tail and knock him down.
Huh.
And then it's really awesome.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and there's several bosses. I don't, just thinking out loud, some of the ones I've run into, Dracula from Castlevania.
Castlevania, yeah.
Yeah. Who's the giant flying guy from Metroid? Craig? Not Craig, the other one. Ripley?
Oh, yeah.
Ridley.
Ridley, yeah. Ripley, aliens.
Right, exactly. Nuka from Earth, that's the only way to be sure. I've ran into, now I'm drawing a blank now I'm thinking about it. I've ran into probably 4 or 5 more, and I'm not even close to being done. Master Hand, Crazy Hand Return.
Yeah.
There's also there's enemies who you fight because they make sense for the lore of that character, and then when you destroy them, they turn into Master Hand.
Oh, wow.
Halfway through the fight. It's a lot of really cool, like I said, small touches. I'm absolutely enamored by it. But have you played much of the World of Light?
Yeah, I started playing. The first thing I ever did on this when I first got it was I played online with Brozerka and College of Celiac, and that was incredible fun. But I hadn't played it before that, so I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing. Other than the fact I'd played, I think the last one I played was, like I say, on the GameCube. So I knew the basics of what we had to do and stuff, but I was so lost. So I went and looked and found I'd read about the World of Light. I'd seen some reviews of it online on YouTube and stuff. So I thought, I'll give it a try. And it's really good for kind of teaching you how to fight. But not only that, it teaches you how to fight against different people. So you can't always imply the same strategy for every character that you come across, because it's just not going to work. So I like that aspect of it, and just the whole kind of like, it's like a little story mode that you go through, where you have like a massive map, and you have different paths that you can take to fight different people. Yeah. And it's nice because you can choose who you go to face if you have like a splintering paths. So yeah, I've delved into that a little bit, playing a lot as Kirby, who I never really considered playing as in Smash before, but he's a real fun character to play as, because you have, if you've ever played Kirby before, it's like, it's special. You can eat the other character and take on their powers. You can pretty much float across the entire map. You can jump forever. So it's a nice addition that they've put into it if you're just looking for a single player kind of experience, but still within the Smash universe. So it's really fun to play.
Yeah, if Cherry, you may not know this, but Smash Brothers was originally developed, and still is, by a team at HAL Laboratories. And HAL Laboratories created Kirby. That's why he's the hero of this version.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's Sakurai. That's his last name. The guy, the lead developer on this game, or designer, director. I don't know what his title is, but he was part of the team that made Smash, or made that game initially. The HAL Laboratories. They also make a game called Block Boy for the 3DS. That he loved. It was a real great puzzle game. I think it was called Block Boy. I'm probably butchering that. It's some game about a block that's like pure puzzle platformer. But, the World of Light is basically they go Avengers ending at the beginning of it, where they have all of the characters, Kirby and a bunch of other characters, standing there, and there's like a field of master hands, which is the enemy for all these games, coming at them, and then like this big being of pure light shoots these beams out that are like these dark energy, and you see like in the trailer when it starts up, there's a trailer on YouTube, and you can also place the video. It like turns them into dust, and turns them into the statue characters, which you might recognize from the like Cherry said, though, the GameCube, the Smash Brothers Melee version. And it creates these dark versions of them with red lights. So Kirby sets out, or red lights for eyes. Kirby sets out to unlock them. And like Cherry said, there's an overworld where you can pick paths at certain points and run into basically fights. And the really cool mechanic is some of the stuff from the Wii U version, where you could get these abilities to like augment your characters, or you could fight against people with augmented abilities, are now in this World of Light version, and they call them spirits. That's what this mode is called, spirit mode. When you go to play it from the menu, instead of saying World of Light, it's a spirit mode. But everybody you encounter can have these like. They have a base fighter spirit, and then these like augments, and the higher level you get, the more slots you have, and they can have things like make you jump higher, make you start with an item, make you take more of a particular type of damage or less, and then there's a paper rock scissors thing going on with the spirit types that your character can take on. Like when you first start out, you can only play as Kirby, just like Cherry said, and I think your default one is the tank, the shield type. Don't quote me on that. That's just the last one. That's the first one I remember, because like when I first started playing, I didn't know what was going on. It took me a couple rounds to figure out. Oh, I got to swap this stuff in and out, because what happens is they start pairing you up against people who are really strong against what you have, and you have to go in and like, okay, there's a shield type, an attack type, and a grab type. So grab does really good against shield, is really strong against shield. Shield's really strong against attack, and attack's really strong against grab. It makes that holy trinity kind of paper rock scissors thing. And then you can start adding things like, I don't know about you, but I ran into some fights in it that I was like, I don't know how the hell I could do this, even with all the I kept like having to go through and like experiment with the different abilities. I
was playing on it, and I came across is it King Dedede?
King Dedede, he's from Kirby.
Yeah, and I instantly, straight off the bat, like it counts down 3, 2, 1, and go. And I didn't even have a chance to react. He just absolutely whipped me. And it probably, like, I was going through it and I was like, I don't know how to combat this. But eventually I think, part of that fight is he's got a really, like, quite a ranged attack. Like, even though it's just a hammer, he can reach quite far.
Yeah.
So staying away from him and countering his attack is how I eventually beat him. But my God, I got absolutely properly decked on the first couple of tries.
I had the same problem with one of them, and it might have been 3 King DDDs that I think it was, and it was like this went from like am I going the wrong way because this is too damn hard?
That's what I thought. Yeah, I almost backed out and I was like, am I not meant to go this way quite yet?
Yeah, I thought, because there's no real direction. Like the overworld is this huge. I mean, like have you scrolled around? It's all covered in fog when you start.
Yeah, I zoomed out and it's massive. Yeah,
and like you get to the end and you're like, okay, there's like a boss area and you unlock a really particular powerful item. I don't know if you've noticed, but the spirits and the accessories, they have like this star tiered system. So there's average, normal, then like uncommon, all the way up to like super rare, like the 4-star ones. And they're powerful. They like do twice as much damage as the other ones, or they're twice as effective. So it's got that almost like that common common, uncommon, rare aspect of card collecting aspect to it, where you even though you have the ability, I really want the better one because this is a really good one for this combo. But I think that mode has just tons and tons of replayability in it because of that. Yeah.
I don't know if you know about, or can enlighten me on this, but when you first go in and you get to like, there's like a circle area and there's like 4 or 3 split in paths off it. You can take one of them and then the other 2 get blocked. Can you go back? Is there any way to access those other areas?
So, the bad guy is like this, like, rainbow-looking helix thing floating in the air.
Yeah.
Once you'll find little icons of him on the map, and when you go fight one of those, that'll unlock the other 2 paths, so you can go back after that.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's all these branching paths and things you can open up. But I thought you were going to talk about the home screen when you're talking about circles.
Oh no.
Oh shoot. That was my alarm to wake up, so I made sure I didn't oversleep for the podcast. Cut that out at 18 minutes.
Yeah.
So when you first launch the game, you've got the different game modes. There's the regular Smash mode that has just like, if you boot it up at home and you want to play with just local people or you want to play a solo by yourself. You've got the Spirits mode. There's the online. And then there's a section, there's the Vault, which has like all your unlocks and music, and it has some challenges, records. Then it's got the Games and More section, which has some things you may have seen from old games past, like the classic mode, which is just the one we talked about earlier. It's got a thing called Mob Smash, which allows you to play, I believe this is the 8-player local ones. No, I'm sorry, it's not. Mob Smash is the one that has like the time trial where they just keep throwing enemies at you and you see how far you can go.
Oh, yeah.
It's got a mode called All-Star Smash, which I'm not even sure what that one does. I've not tried it yet.
Yeah.
All fighters appear, launch. So basically, Century Smash is the first one. It's 100. They send 100 characters after you, and you have to make it as far as you can.
Oh, wow.
All-Star Smash means every enemy shows up instead of having like. There's matches called mob matches where they send like 100 Miis after you or something like that. Yeah. And Cruel Smash is it's an all-out fight against the toughest army there is. Basically, it's like, oh, you think you're hot shit? Well, let us send the best AI at you and humble you really quick. It has the same amiibo functionality as the Wii U one, where you can like save your data on an amiibo and like unlock. And it'll train, you can fight against it, and it'll learn how to fight against you, and it'll fight differently than the default AI for that character.
I have a question about that, actually.
Yeah.
I know you were streaming it last night, and I think, was it Gorby that were you talking to about the amiibos? And you've got a Rob amiibo, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
And you were questioning whether it actually did anything on this. Did you ever try it out?
I did. I tried that out just so we could talk about it today. It doesn't unlock the characters in the game, like some people were telling me they think it did.
Yeah.
But what it does is it It's funny because the first one I put on here was my Link amiibo from like the original Smash release on the Wii U. And what it popped up and said, I recognize this as, and it had my daughter's Smash 4 for the Wii U's data on there. It says, do you want to import this in? I'm like, gee, many crime. This is like, however old this is. And I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. But what it does is it allows you to save this amiibo to your character, right? And it actually writes data back to the amiibo.
Oh, wow.
So it saves it on the character, on the amiibo, the physical amiibo. There's a little chip inside it.
Yeah.
And what it does is you play against it, and it learns as it plays against you your style, and it like teaches you new things and adds stuff to the AI and learns how to fight you. So and then if I take that to, let's say that you live down the street and we were going to come play Smash 1-on-1, I would bring my amiibo and put it in. He can either fight with me against you, or you could fight against him and see how he fights differently than the stock Rob the robot would in your game. So it's a little bit of a gimmick, but it's something neat. It's something extra that you can get. Yeah,
it's nice to see that they're still like incorporating the amiibos, though.
Yeah, exactly. The Games and More area also has the training mode. If you guys have never seen that, it's basically allows you to fight against AI. Allows you to go into a mode where you can like spar and there's no damage tick, but you could set all these custom things so you can like practice certain scenarios and situations.
I think I need to be in there.
Neat. You think you need to be in there?
Yeah.
Back in the regular Smash menu, like you can set up tournaments, special Smash, which allows you to like make custom matches. Smashdown lets you go all the way down the roster, and then you can have a match where everyone starts at 300%. If you're listening to this and you have no idea how Smash Brothers works, sorry for waiting 20 minutes to tell you this. Basically, it's a fighting game where you hit someone and they take a percentage damage, and as that meter builds, they fly farther when they get knocked back. And the way you win in this game is to knock someone either off the stage, off to the down below, or like literally if they have a 300% or high 200s and you hit them hard enough, they'll literally fly off the edge of the screen and blow up and die, or they can even go up. It depends. But basically, you smash them off the stage, hence the name Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
And the vault has I'm just checking to make sure that I talk about every menu. You can also go to the eShop by accident from there. It's really great.
Have you checked what's on the eShop? Is there anything worthwhile on there?
The only thing on the eShop for this game is the what they call the Fighter's Pass. Basically, they've planned to have they plan to have some DLC. The first, there's two characters that have been announced for the DLC. If you go right now, if you've bought the game physical, you can go to your Wii U, or not your Wii U, your Switch home menu, press start on the game, and then register it with your My Nintendo rewards. If you do that, you'll automatically get Piranha Plant from Mario Brothers when he launches. They say early 2019. I think the last rumor I heard was February. That's not confirmed, just a rumor.
Right.
And then also at the Game Awards the other night, they announced Joker from
Persona 5.
Persona 5. Yeah, thank you.
Which I thought, as soon as I read that, I thought, oh, Dia's probably going to be quite interested in this because she's just recently been playing Persona 5 as well.
Yeah, she has. I don't know how much she's into that character, but she was very surprised. I told her the next morning. She actually had gone to bed before that announcement because it was really late. It was at the end.
Well, yeah, because I missed the Game Awards because they were late for us. And upon reading it and discovering that the Joker was in it, and they even whoever was writing this article, they were like, it's a bit out of left field, seeing as Persona 5 has nothing really to do with Nintendo. So I don't know how that has come about.
I think it's because Persona I think Persona 5 is coming to the Switch. I think they announced that they're going to port it to Switch. And also Persona has been on 3DS quite a bit. It's like one of those sleeper hits. I remember a few years ago when the Wii U was out, Persona 4 was on the 3DS, and I looked at it for Dee because I knew she kind of likes big, massive RPGs like that. And I don't remember if she tried it or not, but Persona's been more of a handheld game in years past, and Persona 5 came to Sony PS4 this year, or maybe last year. I don't remember exactly its release date. And was kind of a sleeper hit. Like, not everybody bought it, but it did better than I think they expected it to.
Yeah, it's one of those that I'd never really known anything about, but it seems to have like a bit of a cult following. And I've seen a few people that I follow on Twitch play it and absolutely, like, properly rave about it. So yeah, I mean, if it's been on Nintendo before, then that's fine. I can see why that would happen.
Yeah, I understand where the person you're talking about that wrote that is coming from, because it's not predominantly, especially because Persona 5 was only released on Sony for now. But it's not like a character that a lot of people know about. And I got to be really careful of how I word this, because I don't want to seem like I'm denigrating Smash Brothers people. But it seems to me like there's a huge swath of people, like I don't know the best way to say this, nerds mostly, that are like, so-and-so's got to be in Smash, and that character doesn't belong, and this character doesn't belong. And it was College, I think, that was telling me, College of Celiac, who's been on the podcast before, who was telling me yesterday that there was a big, like, online underground campaign to get Waluigi in Smash.
I was going to mention Waluigi, yeah.
Yeah, they did a Twitter campaign or something, and to the point where Sakurai got pissed off and said he'll never be in Smash because you assholes won't quit with this shit. I mean, he didn't say it that way, but it's kind of like the attitude that was conveyed to me in that conversation. But
he's in it, but he's not as a playable character, because I saw him, I think, whoever was playing with you online last night.
Yeah, he's an assist trophy. And what that is the trophy system has been like since the original Smash Brothers in 1999 on the Nintendo 64. They had trophies you could collect on the stages that just you collected them, and then they were in like a digital library you could go look at 3D models. Back when in 1999, having a 3D model of something was really cool to look at. You didn't see it all the time. Now it's evolved, especially in this game, to the point to where you get an assist trophy, and it's like a little like silhouette of a guy standing inside a rainbow colored glass jar. And when you get that item on the level, you can throw it on the stage, and out pops one of, I don't even know how many assist trophies there are, but I'm going to guess there's close to 100. And they can be characters from any game across the Nintendo's catalog, or even games that aren't Nintendo. Like there's a Street Fighter ones I've seen.
You get Sonic ones
from Zelda. Yeah, have you seen a Sonic one? I'm trying to remember the ones I've seen. Yeah. Some of them I don't even know what the hell they are.
Yeah.
Well, and they do little things. They help you. They help you fight.
This is the thing that I can understand why people were so up in arms about, like Waluigi not being included, because he's like a Nintendo mainstay, and then you get really random things. Like, I think there's, it's random to us, but I think there's a character from like a Japanese exclusive game called Ash, and I was watching again on YouTube a coverage of it, and the guys that were talking about it had to physically go and look up this player, because they had no idea where they were from. And
exactly.
Yeah, sometimes it just doesn't make entire sense, but I guess that's Nintendo, so.
Yeah, I mean, and while we're talking about some of the weird decisions that Nintendo makes, this is the first Smash Brothers since Nintendo announced paid online service.
Oh, right, yeah.
And I've not ran into this myself, but I know, Cherry, you were playing last night and noticed some lag. Yeah,
we were playing with our friend College of Celiac, and College is in New York. Wait.
No, he's in Ohio.
He's not in New York anymore. Yeah. He was from there.
He was visiting New York,
Yeah, and I played online with you, Kronk, and it was absolutely fine, but playing with College, I did not, it was definitely noticeable. So, but, you know,
who all was in the lobby with us when you guys were playing that? Was it just the three of us?
Or
did Levi or somebody jump in?
I think it was just the three of us at the time.
Okay. Because I played a lot last night, and I never had any, I had 8 people, and we were rotating people in and out, never saw one bit of lag. However, when I was done streaming, I hosted, I get Cherry and me in college. We're playing like from England to the United States.
Yeah.
I expect a little bit of lag. I mean, right now we're recording our podcast on an app that tells me Cherry's ping to this server is 152 milliseconds.
Yeah, a second and a half. Yeah.
2.5 seconds. Yeah, that's going to happen. I expect that. I won't hold that against Nintendo. But so last night after I got done streaming, I hosted Chichin, who was also playing that game. And I hopped in to play a few games with him. And while I was in there, we had no problems. But when I left, I went to get some dinner. And while I was eating, I was watching him, and somebody got in the channel, and all of a sudden his lobby, like his games were a slideshow.
Oh, really?
And what he surmised, and this is not a scientific, we don't have any real, evidence that this is actually what's happening, but we figured out is that if a person has a bad net connection or they're playing their Switch on like the outside edge of their Wi-Fi connection,
yeah.
If you're playing in wireless mode, which most people are, and you're playing on the outside edge and you have a real terrible Wi-Fi at home or getting blocked, it literally syncs everybody to that speed that's in the lobby. Not just in the match, in the lobby, because they figured out it was one guy who had bad net, and they're like, hey, we're going to kick you out next game. They put him on the bench. And while he was in the lobby, it still did that. He goes, I'm sorry. I think it's me. Let me leave the actual whole online tournament, whatever the room is called. And then all of a sudden it got better for a time. Huh. And then somebody else got it. And Twitch, Chicha got so upset about it. He's like, I'm going to go back to solo stuff for a while because it's like ruining my stream. He couldn't even play. And your lag that you had, which I understand, and then that one that I saw Chicha, is the only time I've seen it affect anybody so far.
Yeah,
that's anecdotal evidence, I know, but it's better than it was. The Wii U online, like I didn't play against friends. I didn't have any friends to play with. I played locally with Molly until she rage quit after 5 matches, and then I played
because you beat her every time.
Well, yeah, you don't let your kids win. You gotta make them earn that shit. Otherwise, they'll never really appreciate it.
Fair enough.
And then I would play. I'd play online, and online was just like 75% of the time on the Wii U was just crap. It was just laggy shit, and I like literally stopped playing it because of that. But it was Nintendo Online was free then, so I was really curious to see this. And so far so good on online mode. I've seen a couple of issues, but I've watched a lot of people stream this, and I'm not seeing too many issues.
No, I definitely give them props for that because, like I said, the only issue I've run into is with college. I've played with you, I've played with Zerka, I've played with college on a different time, and it was fine. So it just seemed to be that isolated incident that was a problem. But yeah, it definitely seems. I guess I never played the Wii U online, so I'm assuming it was a lot better.
Yeah, it's a lot better than the Wii U was for me. Now I played only on against random, so I didn't know where everybody was. And that one had like 8-player mode.
Oh yeah, I heard about the 8-player mode. Yeah. And
my old ass, that's too much going on the screen at one time. I can't keep up. Like literally, like I'd be falling off the side of the screen. Like, where am I? Oh, I'm dead.
I have enough trouble with 4-player. Never mind 8-player.
Oh God bless. Especially like when they put out all these like assist trophies, that it's like another player on the screen. Like, it literally has your name above it. And if you're following the red your red name, and then your other player, the assist trophy has a red name, and he jumps off. You're like, wait, oh, that's me. No, that's not me.
I was doing that in the World of Light last night. I was playing as Kirby, and I came up against Jigglypuff, and we were
similar enough,
yeah, we were just bouncing around the screen, and all of a sudden it said defeat, and I was like, oh, that's me. I'm not that. Oh God,
I'm the other pink puffball.
Yeah.
And while we're talking about the faults of the game, the online lobby where you go to play against people. Did you have any trouble figuring out how to get in that when there were multiple people on there?
Like how to get into the match or into the your lobby?
Like to actually who's on deck and who's in the match and who's waiting to watch.
Yeah, a little bit. I didn't understand really the throwing your coin into the ring until college told me that I had to do that. So yeah, I guess it could be a little bit more explanatory.
When it was 1 or 2 people, it was fine. Like, I get it. So for those of you guys who've never played it, what it is that you go into the ring, and Smash Brothers has always had a thing where when you're picking your character, you have like this chip, and you set it down on a board of all the characters that are available, and that's who you are.
Yeah.
And it does that. But like in classic Nintendo fashion, not only because everyone who's played video games the last 20 years now has B and A switched around in their head because of thanks to the Xbox and PS4 controller.
Yes.
The bottom button is always the confirm, and the right one is always back. Nintendo, because, and to their credit, they did it first. They've never changed. They've kept their own control scheme. The accept button is A, which is the right button of the pyramid of 4 buttons on the face of your controller, and the down button or the lower one is B, is back. So like when you go to play an online match, they put up a digital representation of a boxing arena. On the left side is some bleachers that if you just want to spectate, you put your coin there. If you want to be in the room but be non-committal of what you want to do, there's an area outside the on-deck circle or the on-deck row, and there's an on-deck row where you put your character in, where the game says, okay, after whoever's fighting, whoever's on deck will automatically be put in the loser's spot, right?
Right.
Depending on, there's a bunch of settings you can do. The game is infinitely customizable. I'll give it all the credit in the world, but this freaking travesty of a screen. Here's what happened with me last night. We had 8 people. There's just a maximum you can have in a lobby. And getting the right 4 people in the fucking screen was a nightmare. Nightmare. Like, I got so mad. I'm like, I don't care. Just hit A. I don't care.
Yeah.
Because what had happened is you get your 4 people in, and then to pick your character, you have to back up all the way and get out of the ring to change your character.
Yeah.
People didn't understand that by default. So they'd be like, oh, I have to get out. Well, as soon as they got out to pick their character, the next person on deck took their spot automatically.
Yeah.
They're like, no, you need to get out. And now everybody who's on deck has to get out so the right person can get back on deck to get in there. It's like, oh, my God.
Yeah.
And then after everybody if you get the right 4 people in, you hit A, and then it shows a screen where it says press A to confirm, and you have 12 seconds. If somebody doesn't pick that, it disbands the whole thing and kicks everybody out of this thing again. I'm like, oh, my God.
What? I didn't know that. I thought it just automatically went.
No.
Oh,
once you get going, I want to say we did maybe 25, 30 matches, and maybe 3 of them went on the first try.
Yeah.
We always had to reshuffle or just screw it, just go, because we don't want to wait and do all this nightmare again.
The one thing that bugs me about that is what you just said, when you put your chip in the ring, and then if you want to change your character, you have to back out of the ring. Like, I don't know why it would be like that. If you're queuing up to go into a fight and you think, oh, actually, no, I might be a different character. I come across someone else that is playing the same character, or someone I don't want to fight against with this one. You have to take your chip out of the ring and then go into a different menu to go and change your character, and then go back and then put your chip back into the ring.
Absolutely.
It seems like a very wrong way to do it. It's really long-winded.
It is. It's counterintuitive, and worse if there's other people in the lobby. When you leave to change your character, you lose your spot in the ring.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
If you were playing online and with people who weren't cool, and they were like, "Screw you, I'm playing now." You just have to wait.
Yeah, it's just
it's like a head scratcher. It's like, you guys, they do almost everything right, and then they're like, now this is good. I think it's because Nintendo is a very insulated culture, a programming culture, and they have their own set of standards. They don't look at what Xbox or PS4 or every PC game ever is doing. They only look at what they've done, and their culture is B to go back, A to go forward, and we'll make. It's important that you put the change character button over here, but you'll have to back out of whatever you're doing to do that. It's like, oh, that doesn't make any sense.
But then I guess
go ahead. I was just going to say, I would hope that they'll, like, after you have the match where it shows all the characters, because you don't really see your character on the screen. It's on the very bottom right hand corner when you're in that lobby. When it picks up and shows who the 4 players that are going, if it allowed you to, like, hit the L or R buttons to, like, cycle through real quick, that would be a good workaround. I think
that would be quite good.
Yeah, even if you only have 15 seconds to do it, that's plenty of time to switch a character.
Yeah. I was going to say, like, maybe next time if you do get, like, 8 players in your lobby and, things that are happening, that someone's taking their chip out of the ring and getting replaced, make everyone sit on the bleachers first. So I'm assuming that if someone backs out, the people that are on the spectate won't get put into the ring.
Correct. That's what we ended up doing.
Was it? Fair enough.
It defeats the purpose of winner stays in, losers.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
it's what we ended up having to do. Is just like, okay, now everybody listen up, be quiet, sit down, be good, and it's just really silly because you end up having to, like, okay, now you go here, and it adds triple the time to set up. Whether
Yeah.
we're in an online game, especially if you're on your stream, you're like, you just want to get the shit going. Let's play.
Yeah.
Even if I'm like college and I would take turns, unless we were playing each other, we would take turns on Discord, just broadcasting it, casting it.
Yeah.
And that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that looked like. I will give them credit for the spectate mode that you can do, because if you do want to cast, then it's really, really fun and quite simple to do if you want to go down that route.
Absolutely. And you can spectate while you're on deck. I found that out last night. Not if you're outside of the on deck circle. We had one of those by accident. I just watched the ring, and it just showed like a little static thing that they were fighting. Like, well, this is a good design decision here.
Yeah.
Why would I want to see this? But these are small quibbles. Overall, the game is very, very good. I've had more fun with this one in a couple of days than I had the entire time I had the last one.
Yeah. I think for me, a lot of it is down to the world of light that they've included in this. I love going through the world that they've created, the overworld, and discovering new people to fight against, new characters to fight against, and unlocking new characters as well. It doesn't give you it on a plate, so you have to spend time in the game and go and search for that one character that you click with. So I really like that aspect of it.
One thing about the World of Light that I found interesting is they try to like approximate encounters with characters that aren't really characters from that universe.
Yeah.
Have you seen this where you're because your spirit fighter can be, one of 100,000, I don't even know what the number is, different like characters that aren't playable, but they're from other games that playable characters are from.
Yeah.
Like you'll fight the Majora's Mask Skull Kid. Have you seen him in the World of Light yet?
No, I haven't.
So what they do is there is a Majora's Mask mask that they put. You can play as a Mii fighter in this game.
Oh.
You can make a Mii character from Nintendo Wii, and they'll put that mask on him. And he looks like he looks like the guy from the Skull Kid, but it's just a Mii with that mask on.
Yeah.
They'll do things like, I've not ran into this one, but I've heard you can play like Luigi can be purple and he'll look like Waluigi.
Oh, nice.
I know Wario is a playable character in this game. I've not unlocked him yet.
No.
But you'll run into characters you haven't unlocked yet in that game. They'll also do things like give characters special abilities. Like they'll make one character can be metal, which means he's really hard to throw.
Yeah.
He's real heavy and hard to knock off the world. I'm trying to think of the really good examples of some of the things they've done. And I'm drawing a blank. Because most of the ones I've done have been I've not got really far in the game, but they start doing some really interesting things where they'll approximate a character from that from another game by changing the color or the abilities of a certain character to make it seem like, okay, I get what they're going for here. He's kind of like that character.
Was that when we were playing? Oh wait, I don't know if it was with you or was it with Brozeka, but we ended up having two Donkey Kongs, I think. Mm-hmm. And one was normal color and the other one was like white? Or is that just to differentiate the two characters?
I don't know. You guys were playing just online, right?
Yeah, we were. Yeah.
Yeah. You can, at the beginning of any match, you can cycle through the different colors.
I didn't know that.
You've always been able to do that since and they do differentiate that so you have an easier time seeing what's going on the screen. Some characters have like alternate outfits too. Bayonetta I unlocked last night, and you have Bayonetta 2 Bayonetta with the short hair. You've got Bayonetta 1 Bayonetta is available and they each have two colors.
Oh wow!
And then one of the colors, multiple colors. One of the colors that she gets in her outfit changes. She looks like Jeanne from Bayonetta, which is the girl in red. If you've ever played that game, she's your mini boss, I think, in Bayonetta 1, and she's your buddy in Bayonetta 2. You play against her, or you play with her, and it changes her whole outfit. Her abilities change color to match. So a lot of TLC went into it. Who else does this? Have you unlocked Pokemon Trainer yet? No,
but I was going to say you unlocked. Was it Samus? Out of, oh god, what do you call her?
Zero Suit Samus?
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Zero Suit Samus is a separate character You've got
Oh,
so
really?
there's 97 or there's 79 characters in this game. Yeah, Zero Suit Samus, Dark Samus, and Samus are all 3 different characters, unlockable characters in the game. Now, Zero Suit Samus does have a hot bikini mode version.
Only reason that I unlocked her.
I mean, no, it's not the only reason. It's just the most important reason why I unlocked her. And then I unlocked Zero Suit Samus last night. So I found this is a little aside, but I'm trying to unlock Rob the Robot, right?
Yeah.
And I've unlocked 49 characters.
Mm-hmm.
So 41 extra, and I haven't seen Rob yet. So I finally, after like 10 or 15, I was like, okay, there's got to be some way to do this. And I went and looked up a guide, and this guide I found online said, okay, in order to unlock Rob, you have to unlock Ike.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in order to unlock Ike, I have to unlock Luigi. Well, I don't have Luigi either. Okay, so in order to unlock, and it was like 8 times I went back.
No.
And that's why it was like 3 o'clock in the morning when I stopped, because at like 1:30 I said, okay, I'm going to do this real quick. And I went through and I unlocked all 7 characters, and I got Ike done, and I went and I beat the game with Ike, and then I unlocked Dark freaking Samus and not Rob the Robot. I'm like, where the fuck is Rob the Robot? And no, I unlocked Roy. Instead of Rob, it was Roy. And I'm like, did I read that wrong? So I went back and looked. Roy's from Fire Emblem.
Yeah.
And I go back and I look, and it says, no, right here it says this. And then I remembered, no, Frankie told me that I said, hey, I read that it will unlock Rob. He goes, it unlocked Roy for me. I'm like, oh, he's wrong. There's no way he's right about this. No, he was right.
Oh,
so
he was.
I'm like, well, yeah, like, screw this noise. So I used Roy to unlock, and it unlocked Dark Samus. And I'm like, geez, Samus has how many characters? There's more Samus characters in Smash Brothers than there are Metroid games in the last decade on Nintendo platforms. Unless you count the 3DS Federation Force, which no one does. It's terrible. I still don't have Rob unlocked, by the way.
Okay.
I mean, I'm closing in on, like, I only have like 25 more characters to unlock, and then about 30 more characters unlocked, and then I'm done.
Yeah. It'll be like the 24th character.
It'll be the last one.
Yeah.
Oh my god. But yeah, I mean, I don't know how much more you want to say about it, Cherry. I think we've talked through all the high points and low points of the game. I know I have some real quibbles about a couple small things, the online mode lobby being terrible and Nintendo Online being sketchy anecdotally, but so far I'm pretty impressed.
Yeah, like you were saying earlier, it's been a hot minute since a Smash game was released, and I think people were probably waiting for this one. I know that I think we had a discussion before the Switch came out. We were kind of like trying to guess like what would be a great game or a great port even for the Switch, and Smash Brothers came up, and I'm so glad that they have finally done it, and not just a port, but like a really, really decent game that they've released. So I'm very happy with it. Yeah.
Yeah, it feels to me when I was watching Chichen and he had that lag, like that's exactly how the Wii U version would lag.
Yeah.
Like it would just like let you have a frame every few seconds.
Yeah.
And that's when I felt, ooh, this is the first time I've actually felt like this is a port of the last one.
Yeah.
Which I know it's not a direct port. They've done a lot of customization to it, so I'll give them credit. Super Smash Bros. For N64 came out in 1999, and then 2 years later they came out with Smash Bros. Melee. And I want to say Melee was on the N64 as well. No, it was a GameCube game.
Yeah, that was the one that I played. Yeah.
Melee was the GameCube one, and then Brawl came out for
Wii.
What system was it on?
Wii U.
Yep, you're right. It was on Wii. So there was a 2-year gap between Smash Brothers and Melee, which I thought I felt like the Wii U and 3DS version to this one was the shortest gap, but that was 4 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, and this is the tail end of 2018, so it's been 4 years. It's just what happens when you get old, everybody. 4 years feels like 2 months. It's like, where'd the time go? I mean, the insane amount of content in this game. We talked about it earlier. There's 79 characters, unless you count like whatever his name is or her name is. The Pokemon trainer is one.
Oh, yeah.
Even though you could cycle between 3 different Pokemon. There's so much crap packed into this.
Yeah.
And that's before the DLC comes out. Every DLC character will have his own stage and music. They added Simon Belmont and Richter Belmont in this game. It's just tons and tons of characters. I was looking real quick for how many total songs are in this.
Yeah.
And oh my god, I can't even find the number of how many total songs are in this. All the original music from every game is back in there. Orchestral versions, like that's stuff that you don't really kind of take for granted when you're playing a game. It's like, oh, it's got music, great, yay, everything's got music.
Yeah,
but it's orchestral scores in a lot of cases.
Wow.
I mean, it's kind of like if you really go on YouTube and go look at like Mario Kart 8's music composition. Have you seen this YouTube video, Cherry?
No, I haven't. No.
If you get a minute, I would go look at it today or whenever, and look at, like, it's a freaking full band in there playing these songs.
Yeah.
It's not like back in the day when like somebody programs a little 8-bit emulator to play the music, and they're like, it's still a great composition and a technical achievement to put, like, Super Mario Brothers song from the 8-bit Nintendo was like smaller than the JPEG you looked at to open this podcast. Like, the data is so tiny, but it's iconic and it reached everybody. There's an art form in making a catchy song with those kind of limitations. But now we have literally like 40 people on this song, so you and your friends can go, I'm punching you in the face while you're playing on the Zelda stage.
Yeah,
it's pretty incredible. One thing I did want to talk about is, if you had to guess, what is the, other than this one, because we don't know yet, lifetime sales, what do you think the number one Smash Brothers is?
Well, I don't know. The N64 one?
Not a bad guess, but it is actually second to last.
Oh, God.
Okay, let's go the other way. What's dead last on the list? Which version do you think had the lowest sales?
I would say the Wii U one.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
The N64 one in 1999 sold 5.5 million units worldwide. And these are shipped copies, what was presumably they sold. The Smash Brothers for Wii U only sold 5.35, and that was split across 3DS as well.
Yeah.
The 3DS version of it sold almost double what the Wii U did. It sold 9.35 million units. And then next up from that is Smash Brothers Melee, which was on the GameCube, 7.09. But the Wii version sold 13.29 million copies. But you got to remember, though, the Wii was a non-gamer phenomenon, sort of like the iPhone.
Yeah.
When the iPhone, and it came out similar to when the iPhone blew up, and it kind of aped their look and style too. So it definitely, like, Grandma played the Wii. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it sold a bunch. I say Grandma. My people that are my grandmother's age played the Wii. Like, people were like, "Oh, that bowling game looks neat. Let me try it, Sonny."
Weirdly enough, actually, me and my mum were talking last night because we were talking about Christmas presents and stuff. And I had my Switch on me and was like, "Oh, is there anything that you want, for your console?" And I was like, I don't know. Is there anything that you want that we can have, like, party play on? So Mario Party came up, and then Overcooked came up, and Bomberman as well. And then my dad turned around and he was like, "Is there anything that's like that bowling for what we had for the Wii?"
Your dad, who hardly ever games, right?
For some reason, he remembered the bowling for the Wii. I don't know why.
So what they really should do is bring back the Wii U sports.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Wii U sports game. They had an HD reimagining of Wii Sports from the Wii U that nobody knows about because nobody got a Wii U. But you have a Wii U, don't you?
I did have, yeah.
Do you still have it, or you get rid of it?
No, I did get rid of it, yeah.
You traded in when you get your Switch, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah, I forgot.
Yes.
I was going to say that you could get that on the Wii U, but you don't have a Wii U anymore.
No. Nope.
Hopefully they put out Mario Maker on the Switch soon.
That would be interesting. Yeah.
Because, I mean, that game had a nice Twitch life on it. Like, a pretty big group of people probably still play it. But if it came out on the Switch, you'd have a lot more people getting into it, I think.
Yeah, it's there's been a lot of speculation about Mario Maker 2 and specifically for the Switch. But there's, you know what Nintendo are like. They play their cards very close to the chest. So no one's really heard anything yet.
Maybe one day we might do it, maybe, out of the blue. I think they just sit back there and they like, well, the internet really wants this, so we got to put this on the back burner. What's something nobody wants?
Yeah.
How about a music game that no one wants to play? Done. Ship it. Have you ever played Wii Music?
No, but I've seen it. I saw was it at E3?
Yeah,
the travesty that happened. Yeah, saw that.
Wii Music is the shining example of every time you want to defend Nintendo. like I have as I've said on this podcast many times, I'm a huge Nintendo fanboy. I have been since I was little, just because of nostalgia. But you can't argue with people who hate on them. You can't. They're like,
No.
you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
I love them anyway. They're big, dumb. They're like the weird grandparents who like. They're weird. They always everything they do is strange. You don't understand it, but they're your family. You gotta love them anyway.
Yeah. Oh no.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put out the best Smash Brothers ever, and then we're gonna make an online lobby so screwed up no one's gonna play it.
That sounds about right.
God love them. So what do you want to see next from Nintendo before we get out of here?
See next. That's put me on the spot. I honestly don't know. I'm quite happy with what they got at the moment. I don't know what they have planned for next year in regards to games, but yeah, I'm hoping it's
anybody does.
No. Well, again, it's Nintendo. I don't know.
True.
We'll just have to see what they decide to do, whether it be good or bad.
Would you want to see they're talking about an Ocarina of Time or no? What's the one for the Wii? The Skyward Sword HD. There was a rumor a couple of weeks ago where what's his name? It's not Akuma. That's a Street Fighter character. The lead designer on most of the Zelda games. Geez, I'm drawing a blank on his name. But anyway, he's the gray haired guy with the little goatee. You've seen him on all the videos.
Yeah.
He's a funny guy, but he was at a Zelda concert, where they do the orchestral concerts now. They go on tour.
Yeah.
And he said he made some comment about, I know you guys are really excited about an HD remake of this on the Switch. We'll see. And like that got so many people buzzing that Nintendo had to put out a statement saying there are no current plans for an HD remake. And then everyone's like, yeah, but that's what you said to the last 3 things that came out. And there were no plans. And like a year later, boom, here it is. So.
Yeah.
Would you like to see a Skyward Sword reimagined without motion controls crammed in it?
Weirdly enough, again, we were just talking about that. We were playing Dead by Daylight with Cynic Chris, Mel Parkey, and Unicorn Hair. And for some reason, we got onto Zelda.
Wait, you guys were both playing and talking about video games? What are the odds?
I know. It's just so off kilter, isn't it? And we were talking about our favourite Zelda games, and Skyward Sword came up because Chris asked me, he was like, have you ever played it? And I said, no. He told me to avoid it because apparently it's really bad.
So there's a couple of things working for and against Skyward Sword. Skyward Sword has the best like cutscenes and story. Like there's something to it. If you want to see what I'm talking about, go pull up a YouTube video that's just like the cutscenes in it and watch it.
Yeah.
It has a little bit more heart and like almost movie-like immersion that the other Zelda games don't. Like the ones, if you ever played Ocarina of Time, like if you play it now, it's nakedly transparent that it's like forced cutscenes inside the engine.
Yeah.
And even though I was only 20-something at the time, the technology wasn't there. I could fill in those gaps. And when I think back at that game was cinematic and masterful. You watch it now and it looks like a Saturday morning cartoon show. This one had like an anime art style to it. Almost looked like a Studio Ghibli film.
Yeah.
And it had great orchestral score. I think it was orchestral. I'm pretty sure it was. And it had its limitations because it was on the Wii. It had motion controls in it.
Yeah.
And if you had motion control 2.0 and you had your freaking sensor bar set up right and you were sitting and you knew how to sit in the right position to get the most out of your game, which is very disciplined. You have to leave your hand at a certain angle because you want your default sitting position for your Wiimote to be like almost parallel with the floor. So it's even. It's the level with the floor. If you were disciplined enough to sit there for that long and hold it at this weird angle, you could get some really good responsive combat out of it. However, if you were sitting slightly off, if you didn't have the motion control 2.0, if your sensor bar was set cockeyed, or if you held your controller up because it hurt your wrist for sitting the wrong way for too long, like it did me, quickly the combat got really upsetting, and it was not easy. There was a character in that game named I almost said Dulcim from Street Fighter, Algarim or something like that. He's the villain in that one. He's a great villain. Like everything about that game is amazing except for the controls. And you know how Zelda can be a bit handholdy with the, oh my god, Navi, I get it. that game had Fee, was the spirit of the Master Sword, and Fee would jump up and go blah, 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 blah. That's how they talked, and they use that like Banjo-Kazooie text, mumble speak, and then you had to read it, and she'd pop up and go, "This is a door. Do you want to?" And they like try to put this like computer humor in it, like she was a machine.
Yeah,
and it just fell so flat. I mean, it was very handholdy. I think I played it for 2 hours, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, I get it. I know how to play a Zelda game, and there wasn't like a good tutorial. It's in depth when you want it, and skippable when you don't, and it was not skippable.
Okay, two things on that. When we were talking, Chris was telling me about it. One, he said he didn't like it because it was far too. There was way too much dialogue. When you talk to people, there were like so many cutscenes. Like there was barely any gameplay. And two, Fee, is it?
Yep.
She would give you tutorial lessons right up to the very end boss.
Yep.
So where is the
unskippable?
What is the point in that?
I'm pretty sure that it's psychological torture. Somebody just really gets off on that at Nintendo.
Fair enough.
Here's what I'll tell you. I am a Zelda. I love the Zelda franchise. It's been in my gaming blood from the time my first home console to like the last one. What was it called? Breath of the Wild. I didn't finish Breath of the Wild because I just didn't have time, and I get lost in an open world and get like I don't know what the hell I'm doing. But before that, I never finished Skyward Sword. Because I just could not be. I did not want to walk through that quicksand of trying to get through that game.
Yeah.
And, I got to this point where there starts to be these puzzles in these outdoor worlds, and Skyward Sword has some amazing dungeons. Like if you remember the old Zelda formula before Breath of the Wild with the sweeping dungeons, it's a lot of fun. And that's why I'm hoping that long way away of me saying I'm hoping they come out with an HD remake where they say, hey, since this is in handheld mode, we took motion controls out of it. That's an option.
Yeah, but they'll probably include them anyway because it's a Switch. They'll be like, well, you can detach, the Joy-Cons. We can include it.
It's fine if it's an option. I'm all for motion controls being an option because you know what? I actually did like playing the motion controls for a time, but because you have to hold your like wrist down, like pointed down.
Yeah.
It would literally, like my carpal tunnel would flare up a little bit. It's funny. Last night I was playing this game, and at the end of each classic mode on Smash Brothers, you have to like play a little shooter game where you're flying around on a disc and shoot the end credits.
Yeah.
And my fucking hands started locking up because I was doing, every time I beat a character, I unlocked like 20 characters last night. I had to go through it. I'm like, ow, my hands.
Oh, sign of getting old.
Oh God, no, I've always had that problem. Well, since my 20s anyway. So I don't do a whole lot of console gaming anymore, or button mashers. I'd love to see that. I'd love to see a Zelda remake, because I think the Wind Waker on Wii U was the best version of the game. They did a lot of things. They took some boring parts out, and I think if they were to give that kind of treatment to Skyward Sword, it would be really good.
If they did Wind Waker for the Switch again, I would be more than happy to play that because that was one that I think we talked about this before, but it was one that kind of passed me by. I did dip into it, but then I think I was coming off the back of the one before
Majora's Mask or Ocarina.
I think it was Ocarina. I missed.
Okay. Majora's Mask.
No, Twilight Princess. I missed that one.
Twilight Princess came after that. Just so you know.
Did it?
Yeah, Twilight Princess was on the Wii. The originally
Wind Waker was on the GameCube.
Yeah, GameCube.
I don't know why then. I think I just didn't get on board with the game, the cartoon style of Wind Waker.
Yeah, the Wind Waker thing kind of threw me for a loop a couple times for a couple different ways. I finally got over my dislike of the art style. I thought I'm gonna give it a try. I trust Nintendo most of the time to this is all before Star Fox Zero happened, but I trust Nintendo to put out a quality game. Even if I don't like the look of it, the gameplay will be good and it'll be something interesting. Even if I don't get it at first, I'm usually happy by the end of it. And not Twilight Princess, Wind Waker on the GameCube had some serious technical limitations. Like the reason the islands were so far apart was because it couldn't render too many of them at once.
Oh, God.
And it ran at 30 frames per second, and like that was when I first started to realize how much 30 frames per second could bother me in a 3D game.
Yeah.
Because like it felt like if I don't know. A lot of people give me shit for it, but I cannot stand playing a 3D game or a first-person game in 30 frames. It like literally makes me motion sick a little bit.
Okay.
And I have to like power through it, like I did for Bloodborne. But Bloodborne I hoped to be 30 frames per second on the original PS4. And then Twilight Princess and Ocarina are very similar in like structure and style. Art style is different, but like when it comes to like how the story unfolds, it's locked content, but it's really, really good. They're my favorite, probably my 2 favorite Zelda games in the 3D realm anyway.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's we kind of got off on a Zelda tangent there, but that's been our podcast about Smash Brothers Ultimate. I highly recommend. Would you recommend it, Cherry?
Yes, yeah. If even if you're not a Smash fan, just to play with some friends, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Step 1, get Smash Brothers. Step 2, get some friends.
There you go.
And if you don't have any friends, you can come follow us on Twitch and play with us. Where's your Twitch address, Cherry? I
am twitch.tv/cherrycaketv. I am also at Twitter at cherrycake518. What about you, Crunk?
I'm on Twitch TV under the name Crunky, Krunky, and you can also find me on Twitter at Crunky_Twitch.
Woo!
Thank you guys so much for being here. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.